Today is the Monday after CEDIA, and I am on my way over to Kalamazoo, Michigan to meet with Jason Monette, the owner of JBM Automation. A few months back, I did a site audit for Jason. Now, before I get started, let me go ahead and say some of the good stuff about the website. First, this website is considerably better than a lot that I see on a regular basis. This does not look normal. It's in the wrong place, and it's chewing up some of the most valuable space on the website. His website does not match the quality of his work. Your website is horrible. How much work is your website losing you? Customers want to know what you can do for them. Oh, ding, 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 ding. We broke something. That is not a remote that you've ever programmed in your life. And he contacted me a few weeks ago. We had a couple of conversations in between them, but he contacted me a few weeks ago and said, hey, let's get together after CEDIA and talk about rebuilding this website. So today that's what we're going to do. Jason is a seasoned veteran. He's over here on the west side of the state. So if you're not terribly familiar with Michigan, I live on the east side of the state. He lives on the west side of the state, lower peninsula, and he services the entire Lake Michigan lakeshore, which is beautiful. It is I think Lake Superior is prettier, but Lake Michigan is the second prettiest lake and by far and away the most popular. It's like the ocean of the Midwest. Has some beautiful luxury homes. There's a great luxury home market on it, and that's what Jason services. He's a Control4 dealer, also does a lot of high-end audio, whole house audio, that sort of stuff as well. So should be a great conversation. He's also, this is a first, he's also into robotics. So should be a really cool conversation. We're gonna meet at a Panera Bread. I'm gonna try to get you guys some, a nice little interview with him, and we'll go from there. So let's get to it. How long have you been doing this?
Well, my entire life, but I graduated.
Went to the Air Force.
Went to the Air Force, came to Western.
Stayed 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Came to Western, ran track, got my degree in electrical engineering. Was a robotics engineer for a year and a half. Was doing Navy stuff.
That's funny because you really don't have the engineer personality. It might deep in your
right,
psyche.
People say that because I'm personable.
Right.
Yeah. But I built all the audio video cables to help pay for college while I was in school. And then I just broke out on my own and turned a hobby into a career. So probably I got incorporated in 2004, I think.
Right. So 15 years-ish.
Yeah.
And then, so from 2004 to now, you know, when you first started, how were you finding your customers? Just begging?
Website.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's why this is a big deal for me, letting someone else handle the website, because I've handled it my entire career, and it's served me well.
Right.
But I just don't have the time to keep up with it now.
Yeah, right. So, and now the vast majority of it's referrals.
Referrals, and people find me online.
With your referrals, like I had a couple of clients that referred a ton of work to me. Mm-hmm. Is that the same with you, or are you getting referrals from the vast majority of your customers?
No,
I think that it's like a personality thing. Like you get a couple of customers who seem to know everybody in Michigan,
right?
And then whatever, and they're an influencer, so whatever hey, call this guy, and people do.
And I need to get better at that as well. A lot of those clients you just have to ask for referrals, and I don't do that.
Yeah, right. And I think a lot of guys, I think it puts them, they get in a kind of an awkward situation or an awkward position. They're like, oh, I don't want to ask for that referral. It makes them feel dirty. I don't know what it is. But then on the flip side of it is, well, your other option is to starve to death.
Right.
So,
right.
And I think that when you talk from the customer's perspective, when you talk to them, they would say, well, I didn't know Jason would even want referrals. I just assume he's so popular and so busy that I didn't want to bother him.
Right.
Well, no, please, bother me.
Please bother me. Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, bother me.
Bother me. I don't even know how to start looking.
Right.
Right. That's the problem. I don't know where to even look. Do I go after people that work for electrical companies, because electricians usually don't know how to run. They know how to pull low voltage, but they'll pull it right next to the high voltage, which is something we don't do. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't even know where to look to find them.
I don't know if these younger guys who are 25 to 30 years old now even know how to fish a wire. I just don't know, because everything they're installing is wireless.
Right.
For the most part, I think. You know, but
and that's a problem, because the clients, well, why don't we just do wireless?
Right.
You know, your walls are down.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right.
Let's run the wire.
Right. And it takes a lot of wire to make everything wireless.
Yes.
A fairly inexpensive TV installation, and you probably, you know, depending on the money, you know, you either accept it or you just say, no, I still don't hang a TV for $99. Still not going to happen.
Yeah, my response to that is, do you want to hire a college kid who's getting paid $8 an hour to hang your television, or do you want to pay someone who does it for a living and will support it after the fact, and you'll be able to contact after?
And I mean, do you even find yourself, because again, your clients are, you know, they're
higher
bare minimum 6 figures,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're not getting pushback on price very much.
I do, like, because there's always people that want to, they always want it for a better deal.
Right.
But I've learned, I used to always try to be the best price. Like when I started,
Right, sure.
I quit that very quickly.
Yeah, right.
That's what it costs. If you like it, great. If not, I always try to do it and give them options. So I'll design it how I think it should be done.
Right.
And they say, oh, you know what? That sounds awesome. I just can't afford them. Okay, that's cool. Let's just make sure we get all the wiring in.
Right.
And then you can do it in stages. As long as the wiring gets in, you can do it 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And that seems to work pretty well. Mostly new construction.
Really? And so how many projects do you do? So what's the average cost on one of your projects? Average.
Our bread and butter is probably between 30 and 40,000.
Okay. And so how many of those do you do a year, roughly?
I'd have to look. Maybe 15, 20.
Okay.
So not bad. But the last 2 years, there's been hardly any of those, and they've just been ginormous.
Yeah, right.
Which is why they're still going on.
Yeah. $30,000 to $40,000. Those are good sized jobs. So you're doing Control 4. Are you doing a lot of security?
Only reason I would do security is if the client asks for it.
Right.
I would do surveillance, like, because I think cameras are way better than
Right.
a security system.
So you're going in. You're doing. So typical is Control 4, controlling all the lighting, whole house audio.
It all starts with a network. So that's the one thing when I do a design, I go, this is your network. This is the one thing that we will not change.
Right.
Everything else we can talk about, but the network stays the way it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And you're basically up and down the lakeshore.
No, that's where I want to get. Most of my clients are Southwest Michigan, so Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids. But I would like to get that Chicago money. That's
the second home Chicago money.
Because they're gonna want it. They're gonna want the monitoring. They're gonna want the cameras.
And who's over there right now? Grand Home?
I don't know, but I know they don't do jobs. At least last time I talked to them, they don't do jobs under $100,000. What I find with dealing with customers, there's a lack of education, right? They don't know what goes in. Like, why is it so expensive?
Right.
Hell,
right. Let me tell you.
It'd be cool. I didn't say nice. It'd be cool to have an entire virtual house, right? That's built with everything, and you hit a button and like the room explodes, right? So the walls disappear, so they can see the rough and rings, the wiring, and see what goes in actually wiring or getting a house like this to work,
right?
Because the infrastructure's it's huge.
Sure. So, and it's a great idea, and two, it'd be costly.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right?
That's Flash
a lot of code.
Yeah.
But it can be pulled off. However, have you ever thought about doing something like that with just straight video? Of going in like a pre-wire phase and say, here's project for, on Lakeshore Drive, whatever, and here's what's going on in here.
Document the whole build.
And then literally document the entire thing. So it's like, okay, now we're at this stage, and this is what's
actually put a video on my YouTube channel that I have that there's no videos on.
Right.
Yeah.
and then put them on the site, obviously, because people watch video. That's why Facebook has this tremendous shift to video. People watch video.
Right.
So I think that would be almost a more cost-effective way, because you could literally do it with your iPhone,
Right.
And maybe a gamble to where it's steady. You walk through the house and say, these are the things that we're doing, and this is why, and yada yada yada. Then it comes down to you're at trim out, right, and then finish, and then programming, and then people see it, and then you have to condense that down into say 5 minutes,
right,
so that people will watch it. I think that would be a good solution, but I will look into the other one. But it's a matter of a graphic designer building all that stuff out.
Right.
I mean, you literally have to build every little
And
piece
I have
of that up.
a guy that I work with on the robot side. He does SolidWorks, which is what they use to design these major cells. And he's looking into actually seeing if he could do that in SolidWorks for me, just to see what it would look like. I don't know how we would transfer it from SolidWorks to the web.
Yeah, right.
But I just think it'd be cool if you could, see a
That's
full
it.
house.
That's Jason Monette from JBM Automation. It was a great conversation. We ended up spending about 2 hours at Panera Bread. He actually works out of there quite often. He said it was a little bit like Cheers, Norm from Cheers. Everybody knew him while he was in there. So it's kind of cool to just hang out with Jason for a couple of hours, get to know him. And that's obviously the first of many conversations that we're gonna have while we're working on his site and building the relationship. So thanks for watching, and look out for another one.